Mesdames et messieurs, nous vous prions de bien vouloir prendre note des informations suivantes. Ladies and gentlemen, you are kindly requested to take note of the following information.
السيدات والسادة، برجاء ملاحظة المعلومات التالية.
Senhoras e senhores, solicitamos que tomem nota das seguintes informações.
Pour le français, appuyez sur 1. For English, press 2. للعربية اضغط قناة 3.
Para português, pressionar o botão 4.
Good morning. Welcome to everybody. Bonjour. It's wonderful that all of us can get together in this way with the 54 presidents of CAF from all over the continent, and very special welcome to my brother Gianni. It's good to see you, and it's wonderful to have our Minister of Sports from Egypt. Very honored, and also we've got our ministers from Cameroon and the rest of the delegation from Cameroon. Thank you. You're a very special welcome to you. Today is a very important day, and it's a continuation on the good meeting we had in Rabat, and I'll make a few remarks later, but it's also a focus to make sure that this process, this important process that all of us are involved in to make African football world-class, amongst the best, it's a continuing process, and with the support of everybody, our brothers and sisters from Africa, our brothers and sisters from Europe and the rest of the world. In the medium to long term, we will indeed achieve our objectives. Before we start the assembly, I would like to inform you that if you look at the agenda for today's meeting, under any other business, we've got 3 specific items. The first is revenues of African qualifiers of the FIFA World Cup 2022. The second is the FIFA CAF Stars, the refereeing partnership, and I think it's very significant that we've got our brother here, Gianni, representing FIFA, and there's an important agreement which relates to referees that we will sign, because the role, and Colleen, it's Colleen or Colina? Colina, yeah, Colina. I always used to watch him referee. He always gets it right. And if I was a player, if I look at his big eyes, I would not argue with him. I'll just always follow his instruction. So thank you very much to be with us. And Asen is very, very special, and the excellent presentation you made the last time. And then, of course, under any other business, we are going to talk about the Pan-African Schools competition. Very, very important, because we don't only want certain results in the short term and in the medium term, but we're also investing for the future. I'm now going to give the floor to my brother, Veron, for purposes of agenda item number 2, to do the roll call.
Thank you, President. Afrique du Sud,
South Africa,
présente. Algérie,
Algeria,
présent. Angola,
Angola,
présent.
present.
Bénin,
Benin,
Bénin.
Benin, present.
Botswana,
Botswana,
Burkina Faso,
Burkina Faso,
Burundi,
Burundi, present.
Cameroun,
Cameroon,
présent.
present.
Cap-Vert,
Cape Verde,
présent.
present.
Comores,
Comoros,
présent.
present.
Congo,
Congo,
Brazzaville,
Congo Brazzaville,
Congo, présent.
present.
Côte d'Ivoire,
Côte d'Ivoire,
présent.
present.
Djibouti,
Djibouti,
présent.
present.
Égypte,
Egypt,
présent.
present.
Érythrée,
Eritrea,
présent.
present.
Eswatini,
Swatini,
présent.
present.
Éthiopie,
Ethiopia, present.
Gabon,
Gabon, present.
Gambie,
Gambia, present.
Ghana,
Ghana, present.
Guinée,
Guinea,
Guinée, oui.
Guinea, present.
Guinée équatoriale,
Equatorial Guinea, present.
Guinée-Bissau,
Guinea-Bissau,
Guinée-Bissau présent.
present.
Kenya,
Kenya,
Kenya n'est pas là.
Kenya is not here.
Bon. Lesotho,
Lesotho,
présent.
present.
Libéria,
Liberia, present.
présent. Libéria, oui. Libye,
Libya, present.
Madagascar,
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 Madagascar, not here.
Malawi,
Malawi,
présent.
present.
Mali,
Mali, present.
Maroc,
Morocco, present.
Île Maurice,
Mauritius,
présent.
present.
Mauritanie,
Mauritania,
ici.
present.
Mozambique,
Mozambique, present.
présent. Oui. Namibie,
Namibia,
présent.
present.
Niger,
Niger,
Nigeria,
Nigeria,
présent.
present.
Ouganda,
Uganda,
présent.
present.
République démocratique du Congo,
Democratic Republic of Congo,
présent.
present.
République centrafricaine,
Central African Republic, present.
Rwanda,
Rwanda,
Rwanda, oui, présent.
present.
Sao Tomé et Principe,
Sao Tome and Principe, present.
Sénégal,
Senegal,
présent.
present.
Seychelles,
Seychelles,
présent.
present.
Sierra Leone,
Sierra Leone,
présent.
present.
Somalie,
Somalia,
Somalie, oui.
Somalia, yes, present.
Soudan,
Sudan,
présent.
present.
Soudan du Sud,
South Sudan, present.
Tanzanie,
Tanzania, present.
Tchad,
Chad, present.
Togo,
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 present.
présent. Tunisie,
Tunisia,
présent.
present.
Zambie,
Zambia,
Zambie est présente. Oui.
yes, present.
Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe, ok.
present.
Thank you, mon frère Veron. We will now come to agenda item number 3, verification that the notification and composition of the Extraordinary General Assembly complies with the provisions of the statutes. For this agenda item, I'm going to give the floor to the General Secretary.
Thank you, President.
Press the button.
On 16th of July, the Executive Committee decided about the venue of this Extraordinary General Assembly. On the 1st of October, they decide the date to convene the CAF Extraordinary General Assembly. The formal notification was sent by CAF Secretariat on the 5th of October in conformity with the provision of Article 17, paragraph 10 and 13 of the statute. So the Congress has been convened according to the CAF statute.
Thank you, my brother Veron. Now, we've started a new culture in CAF since the elections, particularly in EXCO, but also when we meet like we do today, taking into account the various religions and cultures that all of us belong to. We start all of our meetings with a prayer, a silent prayer to ask God, to ask Allah to be with us. So what I'm going to do is we will deal with this in two parts. The first is I'd like us to observe a moment of silence in memory of all our colleagues, friends and family on the African continent, in the other confederations and worldwide who've passed away. So I'd like us to observe a moment of silence for that. And then after that, I'll ask just that all of us spend a minute or so in silent prayer. So let's start with a moment of silence to observe and to respect those who have passed on. Moment of silence, please. May their souls rest in peace, and I'm going to ask you to spend another minute, each of us, to pray to God in our religions, to be with us, to guide us. There's a new variant that's going around, and of course we are about football and to continue to do the work, advance football and improve the lives of millions of people, but also to ask God to be with us. A moment of silent prayer, please. Thank you so very much. We're going to move a bit faster because there's been lots of very good meetings that we've had over the last year in particular. So I think we're going to finish much sooner than what we expected. I'm now going to ask my brother Ahmed, who's done such wonderful work. Yesterday we were at the beautiful facility with Hani. Where's Hani? And to thank the minister and the people of Egypt for the wonderful facility. Can we clap hands for the people of Egypt and the infrastructure? As you can.
Thank you, President. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of God the Compassionate, the Minister of Sports, Excellency Gianni Infantino, Head of FIFA, Mr. Musepi, the President of CAF, ladies and gentlemen, and the members of the General Assembly of CAF, the dear guests of Egypt, welcome to Egypt, and lovers of football from every part of the world. I welcome you in this link between our countries and through football, this bridge through which every one wants to achieve, to spread peace, tolerance, accepting the other, and fighting against racism. Ladies and gentlemen, you were with us yesterday, and we are taking a great step forward in order to advance football with the opening of the new center for the EFA, with the support of the EFA. This is the best celebration that we can have with you today. We are here today in support of you in every step that you take in order to lay a new basis to advance football, African football. Ladies and gentlemen, we find that this historic occasion to meet with Egyptian football is an integral part of African football, to take its natural place in the map of world football. We are in great admiration for the noble endeavor. It is also built on a wise leadership by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to offer its investments and to safeguard national security in the Black Continent. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you in the country of peace, and we wish you every success in your meeting. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.
We are supposed to play this video now, eh? The video about Egypt. Minister, what a beautiful country, and the infrastructure developments, the roads, the money that's been spent to make life better for all Egyptians is there for everybody to see, and we're very, very proud. I'm now going to hand over to you, my brother, our Minister of Sports in Egypt, to come and make your presentation. Can we clap hands for him, please?
Madame de Maizière, bonjour.
Late Motsepe, president of CAF, presented Egypt, which includes everybody, and a cornerstone for building the future, and it continues to be and always a center for importance and an integral part of the national action of Egypt and will for every progress at this time for all of mankind, giving it genuinity and civilization. Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, the government is keen and all institutions are intent on advancing sports for the benefit of a continuous coordination for sports in our African continent in order to achieve the objectives of the African people and for the masses of the African people which are endeavoring to advance African football and place it in a wonderful position and in international football, basing on the vision and the willpower that does not waver at all in the Arab Republic of Egypt, headed by its president, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, to stand side by side with our African brothers in order to advance the African sports endeavor, particularly football, which is one of the main interests of the African masses. I would like to thank and express my appreciation, and I would like to welcome Dr. Motsepe and Mr. Gianni Infantini for their continuous support of African football. And this I have really noted throughout my experience with them. And whenever we ask anything of CAF, that we always find them close and very, and they quickly respond. I thank you very much, Mr. Infantino. The perseverance of Egypt is not new. They have continuous efforts because Egypt is one of the main founders of CAF. The first representative of the African continent in FIFA was Egyptian. Being aware of the importance of sports, particularly football, for the rapprochement of people and for the cooperation among governments, because football in all its ways is not only important to the Egyptian person, but for all African peoples. Football is a magical element, and it is very effective in their culture, in their traditions, and it is also, if we can change the manner, the way of life for amongst all citizens, and it is one of the most important way to spread tolerance, accept the other, and have a sports spirit, and to deny every racism as a main tool in strengthening relations and rapprochement amongst peoples and the governments of the continent, going beyond all elements. Before concluding, I would like to seize this opportunity to, under Gianni Infantini, FIFA, and Dr. Patrice Motsepe, I'd like to thank them for all the efforts they have exerted in support of football in our African continent. At the end, I would like to reaffirm that the Egyptian government has put everything at its disposal and for the sports infrastructure and every technical and logistical elements in order to ensure a renaissance towards the new republic in all fields, and in particular in the sports fields. We are all well aware that we shall put everything at your disposal for football, for African football, in partnership with our brothers from the African countries. I wish you wonderful and fruitful meetings and hope that the CAF will continue to play a crucial role in consolidating relations between the peoples of our continent. I would like to thank the colleagues from the Egyptian Federation and thank them for the role that they have played to coordinate in an effort to enhance African football. I thank you all.
Let's begin. Thank you so much, and thanks for that wonderful speech. I'm now going to give the floor to the president of FIFA, who has spent so much of his time and energy helping within Africa, and we've had many, many meetings. I want you, when I talk about money, I want you to listen, you know. Yeah. We had so many meetings on the money side where he really made an absolutely unique contribution, and I think we are really privileged to have a president of FIFA who is deeply committed to Africa and to make sure that African football becomes amongst the best in the world. Can we please clap hands for our brother Gianni Infantino? Yeah, I think, yeah, proceed. Let's clap hands as he proceeds. You know, in other parts of Africa, when people like Father Christmas can drop presents, you clap hard hands for them so that by the time they get there, the contribution is significant.
Okay, I need to see.
More Fred Gianni.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear President, dear Patrice, dear Minister of Sports, my dear friend, dear Ahmed, President of EFA, dear Hani, our Egyptian master of universe of football, dear EXCO members, the Ministre du Cameroon,
Minister of Cameroon,
friends, but most importantly sisters and brothers of African and global football. It is, as always, for me a fantastic occasion, a great pleasure and an honor to be here with you and to be able to address and say a few words to this assembly. It's an extraordinary General Assembly, but it is a very important General Assembly. And as always, it is important when we can meet, when we can be together, when we can exchange about football. So we are here after 9 months where the General Assembly, the Congress of CAF, has elected a new president in Rabat. And again, thanks to Fauzi Lekja for organizing, of course, together with CAF, that Congress. And this 9 months have been definitely 9 months of reform, of change, of innovation, and of progress. And this reform, change, innovation, and progress has to be recognized, and this is one of the reasons we are here today. We are here today as well because we celebrate Egyptian football 100 years. Yesterday we inaugurated the beautiful headquarters and technical center for the national team. Incredible, state-of-the-art, fantastic. As I was saying, we know for around 3,000 years now how Egyptians can build. Well, we've seen another testimony how beautiful Egyptians can build with this fantastic headquarters and technical facilities. Mabruk. Elf Mabruk. It is also an important year, the year which comes, an important year for CAF, an important year for Africa, an important year for world football. We'll have the World Cup next year, the FIFA World Cup, taking place in Qatar from the 21st of November until 18th of December, and preparations are ongoing. In a few days, we start the test event for the World Cup, which is the FIFA Arab Cup. Some of you will be involved in Qatar, and all the others, of course, are invited to come and witness the incredible facilities and the work that has been done to make this World Cup next year not only the best ever, but also a truly unique event which goes beyond the sporting side, but which will also touch the social part of our world. For the first time, a World Cup in an Arab country, for the first time, a World Cup in the Gulf, in the Middle East, where the world can come and unite and see that we maybe should start, when we speak about ending discrimination and fostering inclusion, we should start with the facts and realizing that we are all together, that we are all in the same world, and the World Cup will contribute greatly to that. Before the World Cup, of course, we have the African Cup of Nations, the pinnacle of African football. Again, incredibly important competition for all of you. And after the African Cup of Nations, there are the qualifiers for the World Cup. 10 teams moving to 5. Those 5 who will qualify. This will be incredible games with a lot of passion and a lot of tension as well. And we wish you all the very best of luck. Being in Egypt as well, I have to mention, and I'm happy to mention, the champion club of Africa, Al Ahly, who will play as well in February in the FIFA Club World Cup in Abu Dhabi. So again, Mabruk, congratulations, and we look forward to have many Egyptians for that event as well. This has been a complex year, a difficult year with COVID. I don't have to tell you, you all know, we all know, and it's been a year in which we have been able to work together, to cooperate. We've brought football back. We had to postpone, but we have been able to organize, and I want to thank all of you, because without your help in implementing the protocols, the back to football protocols, health protocols, we would not have been able to play. We have been together managing to get almost always your players to come and play for the national teams. Unfortunately, this was not always possible, but almost. And this is important for the regularity, of course, of the competition and the solidarity that needs to work between us. At the same time, with the COVID relief fund that FIFA has been able to grant to you, I know from having discussed with many of you that this step as well was important. It is a unique step. It is a strong commitment of FIFA to world football, to African football, to be able to assist in the moment of need, and we can assist because FIFA today is a strong and solid organization. Now at today's Extraordinary General Assembly, there are a few topics that I want to mention that you are going to discuss and approve, I hope, or I guess, as well. And I just want to say a couple of words, with your permission, on some of these topics. The first one is the infrastructure project, which again is a testimony of the collaboration between FIFA and CAF, between FIFA and CAF and all of you African football representatives. And this is really the year of collaboration, of partnership, of unity between us. This is an important project, and my brother Fauzi will present it later on. We have committed to that. We have committed to invest in infrastructure in Africa. It is crucial that every country has at least one stadium and other facilities to be able to develop football in the most professional way. This requires time. This requires investments. This requires investors, and we are working on that direction. You will hear more about that, but we are more committed than ever to make sure that we obtain this $1 billion for the investment in infrastructure in African football, because this is what African football deserves. The other topic, which is obviously one of the topical issues these days, is the future of football, the future of the international match calendar, the future of the World Cup. Do we need a World Cup every 2 years or not? The FIFA Congress has given us a clear mandate, with 88% of members voting in favor of conducting a feasibility study on whether it is feasible to have a World Cup every 2 years. Why? Well, because we need to protect football. And we need to make sure that football remains relevant for our young generation, and I would say particularly in a continent like Africa, where 40% of the population is below 15 years of age. We need to think about the future. We need to think, how can we make our sport more enthusiastic, more relevant for the young generation, which today has many other things to focus on. So we are studying it, and we are studying it when it comes to the men's game with the leadership of Arsène Wenger, who will speak to you later today, and for the women's game under the leadership of Jill Ellis from the United States, two incredible experts of football, but two persons who are also passionate about the game and about the future of the game. It's our responsibility to keep the dream open, to give opportunities to everyone. And obviously, when you debate, when you consult, you find out that some are in favor, that others are against. It is democracy, it is healthy, it is the consultation and the debate. And obviously as well, and that's natural and understandable, those who are against are those who are at the top. It happens in every sector of life. When there are reforms and changes, those who are at the top, they don't want anything to change because they are at the top. And they are afraid maybe that if something changes, their leadership position is at risk. We understand that. And we compliment and applaud them for having been so successful in reaching the top. This is fantastic, and they are an example for everyone. But at the same time, we cannot close the door. We need to keep the door open. We need to give hope. We need to give opportunities to the entire world. 40 countries in Africa have been fighting in order to get 10 group winners, and even the 10 group winners are not qualified yet for the World Cup. So another 2 games will decide on the 5 who go to the World Cup, and those who don't qualify, they have to wait 4 years for the next World Cup. So we need to give more opportunities to all the teams to play with each other. Will it be with the World Cup? Will it be in another way? we have to study, of course, all this, and we are consulting, but we need to offer more chances and opportunities for world football, for African football to shine at the world stage. And this is valid for men's football, this is valid for women's football, and of course as well for youth football, which is part of the reform process and for which we really believe that we need to have youth competitions every year and not just every 2 years, because we lose in those continents like Africa, where the competitions for youth take place only every 2 years, we always lose a generation. If you are not born in the right month, in the right year, you maybe have no opportunity to compete and to play and to improve your skills. So we continue to consult, we continue to speak. We thank you for your views, for your input, because that's what I said at the very beginning of my first election in FIFA. I want to give to all of you not only the possibility to come to a FIFA Congress and press a button and vote yes or no to what is presented to you, but I want to give all of you the opportunity to speak, to have a voice. And everyone in the world will have to listen to your voice before taking any decision. This is inclusion. This is fighting against discrimination in a real and factual way. This is giving chances and opportunities to everyone, and this is what we will continue to focus on. Speaking about competitions, if I still have a couple of minutes, dear President, another topic which will be on the agenda today is, of course, the Pan-African Super League. We have been speaking about national teams, which are the heart of every one of us. We are all fans of our country, but we need to speak as well about club football, about how can we make club football in Africa better. And we have been discussing this, and we are discussing it, and you will discuss it later here today as well. It is important that we think about new ways of projecting African football, not only in Africa, but as a global event. The passion, the talent that there is in Africa is unequaled in the world. And we need to show this to the world, and when we can show this if we have the right stage for the best African clubs to shine on a regular basis in Africa and all over the world, to be able to maintain talent, to be able to generate revenues which can be reinvested in the game. So count on the full support of FIFA, of course, when developing club competitions and a Pan-African Super League for the future of African football. Speaking about partnership, cooperation, I would like to mention as well, and you will receive a presentation later on this topic, as your president mentioned earlier, about the African qualifiers for the World Cup. For the first time, you have entrusted FIFA to commercialize the rights. We have done so in close partnership with CAF and with President Patrice Motsepe in particular, and the results that we can present for this commercialization for the first time done jointly are very positive. I think it is the only sports property which increased in value in the time of COVID. We have been able to commercialize these rights, increasing the overall value by 20%. And because at the same time, we've been able to reduce the costs by 50% compared to the past, we are able to distribute to African football 40% more. So instead of 25 million, 36 million will go back to African football in a time of COVID. This is not magic. This is not because FIFA is so great. This is only because we have been working together. I've been with President Patrice Motsepe to some meetings to try to convince some investors. to have to buy these rights. And this is just the beginning. But we wanted to go through that to test whether there is an appetite for top African football. And there is an appetite for top African football in Africa and all over the world. And we have to build on this success. 40% more revenues to be distributed to the associations in Africa. It's a first step, and much more on that will, of course, come. Another topic towards the end of this extraordinary General Assembly will be refereeing. Refereeing is crucial for football. Without referees, there is no football. And like everyone, referees can make mistakes as well. And we need to understand that we have implemented VAR, and I can assure you already now that for the playoffs of the World Cup qualifiers, there will be VAR in every match. We have implemented VAR to help the referees because it is so difficult to be a referee. And it's our responsibility to put the referees in the right conditions to perform at their best. How can we do that? With the structures we have today. We have to change our structures. And also there, we are partnering FIFA and CAF together in order to professionalize refereeing, to take out the top referees of Africa, evaluate them every year, make them become better and better and better, specifically targeting training to them. And they will, in turn as well, be able to instruct young, talented referees from the entire continent. And with this, we elevate the whole of refereeing in Africa, again, together in a partnership. And we make sure that even if a referee makes a mistake, because this will continue to happen, everyone will know that at least we have put him in the best conditions, that he has made his best, that he is getting or she is getting better and better, thanks to the professional approach. And the chairman of the referees in the world, Pierluigi Collina, will speak to you about this topic. And of course, Pierluigi Collina is not only the best referee ever, but a true expert and passionate about refereeing. He has designed this project together with some of you, and we will implement it together to give and elevate African referees to a different status. It's called the STARS Refereeing Partnership, and you will hear more about that. Of course, I've been speaking already too long, and I apologize for that, because you will see as well something about the Pan-African School Tournament, School Championship, which again is about children, about schools, about football, about education, which are all topics which are very close to our hearts. Congratulations to CAF for this initiative. Congratulations as well for organizing the first Women's Champions League. And congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns for winning it. It's again a step in the right direction, and a step that shows what I was saying at the very beginning. Reforms, innovation, change, and progress. This is what this new CAF is about. Dear Patrice Motsepe, dear President of CAF, I would like to thank you for your commitment, for your passion, for your enthusiasm, for working together with all of us Africans here in Africa for the benefit of African football. Let's keep up the great work. Thank you very much to everyone. Shukran jazilan. Merci beaucoup. Vive le football et vive l'Afrique. Thank you very much.
As we move forward as quickly as possible, I think there's going to be the video now, quick, short video, and then quick remarks on my side and we move on as quickly as possible. Is the video on? I hope I'm not as... The face of African football will never be the same again. The last time the president of CAF came to visit their country, one of them said to me was in 2003, I will be visiting every single one of the countries in CAF in the next 9 to 12 months. And of course today it's about football and the unique role that football plays in the lives of millions and millions of our people. Amaju makes us proud. He represents Nigeria with dignity and excellence and represents Africa with dignity and excellence. You saw the beautiful talent, the biggest investment we can make in African football is to invest in schools football as well as in youth football for boys and girls at schools level and club level as well as at national level. I am ready. CAF is ready to partner with you, to partner with our minister, to partner with my brother. But before I start, I hope I'm not as black on the camera as I am here. I know I'm very black, but here I look even blacker than blackerer and blackerer, so I don't know if you coin new words. I think tell them to make me a little bit, I laugh, just maybe so people can see me a bit better, and all the other speakers. Just a few quick remarks. I want to start with a very quick story. A few months ago, many years ago when Nelson Mandela was, I think he had stepped down as president, he called me and said, there's a school he wants me to help with in one of the poor rural villages in South Africa. So we helped there, and the children got good results. They got bad results before. So I then went back to tell them how proud we were, and that the headmaster, the principal, said to me, please, one of the things I want you to do is to tell these young people never to lose hope. Tell these young people never to stop dreaming. Tell these young people never to stop setting very high goals for themselves. And I said, but why? Because I imagine that I don't have to do this because the results are good. He says, no, because you see, when they go home, it is now so many years after democracy in South Africa, and for so many of our poor people, not much has changed. And they hear the parents say, yeah, but you know, when people say they make promises, they don't keep promises. And maybe we should not be as ambitious as we should be and set very high standards. So I think part of that message is relevant to African football. And that's the key issue over the last few months. Just like those young people at the school and the people in South Africa and the people in the African continent must always think about a better and a brighter future and work towards a better and a brighter future, and they will succeed. That same message is equally important for football in Africa. It's a critical message. And when we make progress, when there is tangible, quantifiable progress in football, in every country, at every member association, and on the continent,
when you can see it, it inspires. It makes you believe that we can do even better. Because when we are all enthusiastic and we've got big plans, but we can't see progress in the short term, it is demotivating. So I want to emphasize that I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt whatsoever. This continent has produced some of the best players the world has ever seen. They have proven that they are world-class in Europe. They've proven that they are world-class in the World Cup. And one of our aims is indeed that an African nation, that has to be one of our objectives and one of our dreams and one of the things we work towards. An African nation in our lifetime, soon, very soon, must win the World Cup. I want us to clap hands for that. Because when you succeed in the world respects you. I mean, we are all football lovers. That if the football club or the football nation that we support plays beautiful football, but they don't score goals, the ball hits the upright, it hits on the side, but they don't score goals. It is goals, it is results. It is carrying the trophy that makes the world respect African football, that makes the world recognize that African football is as good and attractive. It's the sort of football that not only us in Africa should be excited about watching and paying, but the rest of the world should also be excited and should also seek to get the TV rights from CAF, from our football associations, as well as from our national teams, because with that income, it will allow us to pay the players more, build our infrastructure, build the facilities, and make African football globally competitive and make it amongst the best in the world. So if there's a sense of impatience on my side, if there's a sense of urgency on my side, it's because we have to be impatient. Because we need results. We need results that we can see, we need results that we can count, and we need results that gives confidence. Now, the results that matters don't happen overnight. The results that are important takes time. And that's why we have to work together, invest in our youth, and that's why we've got this schools football. And I'm very honored and proud that the Family Foundation contributed $10 million towards schools football, something that we've done in South Africa over many years. We want schools football in the rest of the continent because that is the foundation. We are competing with basketball, and the people from basketball came to me many years ago, and they're investing big money in developing basketball. We are competing in South Africa and in other parts with rugby. We are competing with athletics. It's good. We want all sports to do well. But football is in our DNA, and we want football to be the #1 sport in Africa. And you get what you invest. You sow, you reap, in fact, what you sow. So we are going to invest in our youth, schools football. We are going to invest in the youth, in every member association, young girls, young boys. We are going to invest in the competitions, because our competitions are everything. I had a very good meeting the other day with one of our biggest sponsors, and he said to me, Patrice, please, quite some time ago, we must start the games on time. We must play football on pitches that are world class. We must make sure that the millions of people in Africa and in the world who are passionate about football, when they watch football on TV, it's an exciting experience. And that's why the wonderful work that my brother Gianni has been doing, and the announcement that we'll be making today about the referees, is critically important. Africa has got good referees. We've got world-class referees. And we've also got referees who are not so good. And we also have referees who are even further from not so good, but they all try. And we want to train them and make sure and also pay them good money. Look after them so that they can make a career out of being referees. So we are meeting today for the third time as the 54 members of CAF. And I'll tell you why. Yesterday at the meeting of EXCO, which is the highest body, one of the members came to me and said, "Are you aware, Mr. President, we've met now 6 times this year as EXCO. It has never happened in the history of CAF that EXCO meets, which is, as I said, EXCO is the highest body, meets so quickly or meets so often. And it has also never happened in the history of CAF that the 54 members meet 3 times a year. And it's a deliberate intention on my side and the vice presidents that I have the honor to work with. It's because this organization belongs to you. And we want you to know the challenges, the problems, the difficulties. We also want you to know what we are doing in the short term. And we should not, we should also put our finger on one of the key issues, which is funding, finance, and the need for resources. And that's why the discussions with the sponsors is very, very important. And that's why the Super League, because all of our competitions are taken. All of our competitions already have sponsors. And if you look at the document we gave you, which is the PricewaterhouseCoopers report that we circulated to you, you can see that there have been problems in the past. There's been problems with lack of ethics, there's been problems with lack of proper governance, there's been problems with lack of proper auditing processes. And we've done good work in terms of fixing some of those processes. But we can't always look back. I mean, I'm the new president now. There's a new leadership. We can't keep talking about the problems of the past. We all know the problems of the past. We're all aware of the problems of the past. Our job is to improve on that, is to fix it. And together, all of us, in the medium to long term, I am confident that the finances which are key, and that's why the Super League is important, because the money and I love my sponsors, so I've got to embrace them, and some of them are here. And one of our biggest sponsors is somebody I've known for many years. So we meet every year in Davos in the World Economic Forum. He runs one of the biggest companies in the world. So we met in Paris, and he took out his hand and wanted to shake me and say, "Patrice, I'm so happy to see you, and I'm excited that you are the president of CAF." I said, "Listen, I need money. I need a lot of money. So if you are going to give me lots of money, I'll shake your hand." But I can talk to him like that because he's my friend. African football needs resources. African football needs finance. We must build our infrastructure. We must build our pitches, train our referees, invest in our youth, continue with the governance and the ethics, the honesty and the integrity that all of us, a president is only as good as the people he has the privilege to work with. And the best ideas do not come from the president. The best ideas come from the people that he's privileged and honored to work with. And I must say, I've been deeply honored and privileged to work with every single one of the 54 presidents of the member associations, with the outstanding vice presidents I've got, and with an EXCO, with a commitment and a passion to African football that is encouraging. I'm confident the future looks bright. I want us to clap hands for all of the leadership of CAF and their commitment to football. Now, as I'm going to sit down, people who help Africa, people who are committed to Africa, people who sacrifice for African football are people that we should embrace. Arsene Wenger made an excellent presentation in Kigali. And I see Mateus is here and the leadership, everybody from FIFA. We in Africa, we are going to partner with everybody from all over the world to work with us to make African football better. And I will always emphasize and say, I am not just proud and thankful for the passion of my brother. You heard when Gianni said, he said, we are all Africans. He knows his history. It doesn't, whether you come from Europe or America, it all started here. So we are indeed all Africans. And all of us must contribute and work together for the benefit of the continent. Can we please clap hands for Gianni and FIFA for their commitment and their contribution? Now, as I go to sit down, we've got our brothers here from Cameroon, and I must say, there will always be challenges. There will always be things we can do better. There will always be areas where we can improve. But what I like is the commitment, the passion that I saw during my visits to Cameroon. I think we are 95% ready. And there are some issues that we will fix in the north. But we want to show Africa, we want to show the world the hospitality, the love, and the passion of the people of Cameroon for football on the continent. I remember seeing Roger Miller. I can't dance like Roger Miller, But I remember seeing Roger Miller scoring those beautiful goals, and only Africa has got style. Only he could dance, I wanted to tell Platini to dance as well, but, only the Africans. So we will see Africa doing very well, and I'm confident that we're going to have a wonderful AFCON in Cameroon, and it's going to be successful. I want to thank you for being here. My brother, Minister of Sports, thank you so much for your passion, for your commitment. Thank our President for the partnership, because one of my duties as President of CAF, when I visit every country, is to make sure that there's a partnership between the President, the head of state, the Minister of Sports, and the football leadership in the country. The strength of CAF is not what happens in the head office. The strength of CAF is not what the president says. It starts with the strength of every football association in every one of the 54 countries. And that's why we've got to focus, get the president, the head of state. Fortunately, I know many of the presidents, and I tell those guys, we need more money. I don't just tell the private sector. Support. But we also need the Minister of Sports, and you are an excellent example. We also need the private sector to work together. And with all of those parties working together, I think we will do well. I think I've done my job now, and I can go and sit down. Thank you so much. See you all.
Now, Veron, what is the thing I'm supposed to say now? Because you are supposed to tell me what to say now.
Before you say something, I have something.
Oh, you've got something for me?
Yes.
Very good.
We can make a deal.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Fororo. Sure that we move quickly and do the work we have to do and get going. And as I said, we've got a workshop next year, sometime around about March, April. I want all the 54 presidents to come together, and that will be to focus on some of the key issues in relation to the work that we need to do, and we'll let you know about that. Veron, I want to give you the floor now. We are now on agenda item number 5, designation of 3 members to check the official minutes. Veron?
Thank you, President. I just want
press the button.
Yeah, it's done. It's pressed. Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to.
Thank you, Mr. Veron.
Just to confirm that we have 52 members present out of 54, and so the quorum is clearly reached.
Thank you.
Now CAF propose three members, Congo pour les Français, Ghana for the English, Algérie pour l'Arabe.
Thank you very much. If you are in favor of this proposal, I'm talking to the floor now, in terms of the proposal that has been made for the scrutineers. If you are in favor of this proposal, please raise your green card. I want to see the green card. Thank you. I will also raise my FIFA card. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And then if you are against this proposal, please, thank you for the green card. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. If you are against this proposal, please raise your red card. Thank you. And of course, yellow if you abstain. Merci beaucoup. I ask the scrutineers to monitor the process because that resolution has been passed unanimously. I will now go to agenda item number 6, designation of scrutineers, and I will give the floor to my friend Veron in order to propose 3 MAs to act as scrutineers.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the scrutineers, we propose Senegal, Uganda, Angola.
Sorry. Okay, Senegal, Uganda, Angola. Ne? Now, which one is for Zulu here and which one is for Dutch? Press. So
We'll sing about next.
Okay, so Senegal will help with the French, ne?
Senegal, yeah.
Okay, and Uganda will help with the oh, my apologies, scrutineers. Okay, but scrutineers also need to speak Chinese and see what happens. Okay, are you in favor of this proposal? Please raise your green card. Thank you so much. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. If you are against it, please raise your red card. Very good. I don't like red cards. And if you abstain, please, yellow card. Thank you so much. This resolution has been passed and we move on as quickly as possible. I would now like to show the highlights video for various CAF competitions for 2021. It's going to be a quick, short video. Thank you so much. I'm told that the minister may have to excuse us for a few minutes, which is fine, because he's going to do the work of food. Yeah, okay, thank you. You know, it's good to have family members here. I was gossiping and Veron says, please don't say it, they can hear you. So I've made sure that I'm muted. But just thank you so much, because when you leave, you're doing the work of football, of Egyptian Football Association and for the African continent. Can we clap hands for the minister? He's got to leave us. Thank you. Okay, we will now go to agenda item number 7, update on resolutions, and we start with 7A. I'm going to hand over the floor to my brother Kamanga, who's doing wonderful work with Fauzi in order to present the annual revised budget 2021-2022. It's a brief revised budget. And as I said, partly why some of the presentations are rather brief here is because a lot of the detail and a lot of the work has been done outside the meeting. Can we clap hands for Kamanga?
Thank you very much, President. Good morning, delegates. My role is very simple, is to quickly take you through the status of CAF finances in terms of the budget, where we were 6 months ago and where we are today going forward into the financial year to end in June 2022. So without much ado, I would request that the slide is there, yes. In line with the President's commitment and the executive of CAF, which has placed a premium on transparency, accountability to ensure the integrity of financial information. What we have before us, just quickly on the revenues, we do have an original budget of $119 million. We have since revised that to $134 million, and the reason is because on the commercial revenues, we've increased that from $104 million to $113 million, and the $9 million difference is on account of the new contracts which are coming through on the sponsorship side. We've had an increase in the FIFA forward funds from 12.6 million to 19.2 million, again, as a result of an adjusted budget. If we go down further to the financial income, there's been a reduction from the original budget of 2.5 to 850,000, simply because we needed to manage the liquidity. So that difference of 1.7 million is to ensure that CAF continues to meet its financial obligations in the short term. Turning on to the expenses, you will see that overall we've moved from 70 million to 71 million on the total competitions, simply because we've had a slight increase of 2.3 million on the distribution of prize money, again, which is supported by the forward program. And then we've had a reduction in direct expenses, which had to do with the technical costs by 1.3 million. On the development expenses, I think this is where all of you will be interested. The CAF development projects, we've had an increase of 4.2 million, and these include the activities around the technical side of the game. In addition, you will see that we've had an increase in subventions to you, the members, to support football development, with an increase from the original $200,000 to $250,000, which has translated to an increase of $3 million from the original budget of $10 million. Administration and meeting expenses, you will see that we've been consistent with the original budget. It's still sitting at 25 million. As a result of the changes In summary, our net position is that we've had an increase in revenues by 13%, with the corresponding increase on the expenses by 7%. The net effect of all that is we've moved away from an original budgeted loss of 3.3 million to a positive or profit, which we are forecasting at the end to 2.7 million. So with that said, we can confidently say that CAF finances are slowly but surely getting to where we are as long as we continue to maintain prudential management. I thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, we still have a long, long way to go. And as I said earlier, the key issue is that the significant amount of progress in terms of finances, particularly for those member associations that desperately need financial resources and funding. And I mean, the first thing that Gianni did when he took over was to increase the contribution in terms of FIFA Forward to the member associations. But the other thing for us as well is, if you look at a member association in Africa and you look at some of the member associations in Europe and in other parts of the world, we've got a long way to go, and we must work very hard. Okay? So that was to give you some information, and at the annual general meeting, which we'll have next year, we will give you the detailed financial statements, and I must recognize PricewaterhouseCoopers that are here with us for the wonderful work that you've done. And I also had a meeting with our external auditors, Ernst & Young, because CAF has to be run in line with global best practices. And thank you so much. Can we clap hands for PricewaterhouseCoopers and the other partners we work with? Okay, I'm now going to come to my brother Fuzi, who's really done lots of work, and there's an exciting and a very ambitious $1 billion infrastructure project that we are looking at. And I'm going to invite mon frère Fuzi on stage to present this program. Can we clap hands for Fauzi Lekja?
Monsieur le Président de la FIFA, Monsieur le Président de la CAF, mes chers collègues présidents des associations nationales, merci à mon cher ami Hani et Ahmed de l'accueil ici au Caire, dans un beau pays qui est l'Égypte. Monsieur le Président, si vous le permettez tout d'abord, il faut circonscrire ce...
Have to see about this project of infrastructure in its context. And the procedure, we cannot isolate it from everything else. In fact, today, the title of the chapter is Development of Football in Africa. This development, obviously, calls upon other components that were cited. It's an engagement, it's a total commitment, the reform or the development of the infrastructure. If we do not reform the competitions, and if we do not reform the other components, or introduce reforms to other components, whether it's refereeing, governance, management, the development of the infrastructure has no sense whatsoever. President of FIFA, what he said, that the other aspects that you raised and which we discussed at the executive committee are crucial importance. It is truly very important to speak about infrastructure. It's also important and necessary and essential to engage other reforms that are related to football. We want some good infrastructures in our continent that will respond to international norms. But if we do not reform our competitions, we will have the we won't have an opportunity to speak about the Super League or the clubs. And even in the best conditions possible, develop. Furthermore, also with my friend on the financial aspect, I'd like to say that it is a vicious circle. We cannot have money, we hope, and our hopes will not be realized if we do not introduce deep reforms, starting with the total revision of the format of competitions. Mr. President, you have had the unanimous commitment by our colleagues to start on or to embark on the reforms of the other World Cup, because it is really important to underline this commitment. We will be by your side to convince those that are reticent, seeing today that with report to the infrastructure, we were able to discuss this issue for over more than a year now, and it is absolutely necessary to continue because it's a question of mobilizing $1 billion financially and to converge structures, the infrastructures of in all the 54 countries of the continent, where those sometimes the infrastructures are almost absent. We have to have a minimal reform of the infrastructure for the men and women football. In this regard, work has been accomplished. So it's a question of the mobilization of the financial aspect. It's in terms of management and financial and the business plan, or in terms of governance, in order to ensure very good practice, good international practice in this respect. And the fundamentals are there. So the starting point is a diagnostic. We know it all. There is a lot of insufficiencies in this respect. There are difficult conditions today in terms for development, whether in terms of training and practice or at all levels. So on the basis of this diagnostic, we have to today approve this principle in order to embark on all the technical phase, the business plan, the creation of structures, and obviously all the starting point is an agreement between FIFA and CAF. And thankfully, and for all the better, we have had FIFA since the start, in the person of its president, its teams, that have accompanied us in the conception of this project. And I think that today we have no other choice but to begin the infrastructure in the best conditions possible by mobilizing the necessary resources and in guaranteeing the deployment and the techniques of the mobilization of money. They are universally known. Therefore, it's a mobilization that will be achieved, and I think that, as I noted, to create a real development, having a total revision of African football, to have the courage and the responsibility of putting it on the table with a total commitment to the format of competitions at FIFA level, which could but be beneficial to our continent. And so I think that we will together ensure the true embarking of our vision and to have. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Mon frère Fouzi, merci beaucoup.
My brother, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother Fouzi, for an excellent presentation. Now, when Fouzi was promoted and made minister, a very, very important responsibility in Morocco, I should have congratulated him, but I was worried that I may lose and CAF may lose one of our most committed and one of our most contributory leader in African football. The resources and the infrastructure in Morocco has been, and I was told yesterday, that approximately 10 countries used the good facilities because their stadiums in their country, and we have to work on that because no country in Africa should not have a stadium that's up to FIFA standards. And it's not just the responsibility of the country, it's our responsibility as well from CAF that we should work closely together and make sure that every country has a football pitch, a stadium that is world-class. So I want to congratulate Fouzi once more on his appointment as minister, and I'm even more excited because in terms of the continuation and his participation in football, he will be at our disposal and continue the good work he's done. Now, in terms of this infrastructure fund and the infrastructure project and all the good work that the Finance Committee and Fouzi in particular is leading, in the meetings both in Rabat with all of the presidents, the 54, as well as in the meeting of EXCO, I got the impression that all of us are in agreement with that. Is that correct? Okay. I think raise your yellow, the green, just to show that we support that infrastructure project to continue. Just raise it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can we clap hands for Fouzi and for the project? Okay. Now I'm going into agenda item 7C, FIFA International Match Calendar for Men and Women, including FIFA's Men and Women's World Cup. For this important agenda item, I'm going to ask one of our most outstanding coaches ever. You know, my son, he loved Arsenal because of you, and when I shouldn't say he stopped watching Arsenal, but he still loves Arsenal. But you really have made us so proud, and your passion and your commitment to world football and to Africa is something that we are so thankful for. And accompanying our brother Arsene Wenger is Stephen Martens from the FIFA, who's the FIFA technical director. Can we clap hands for them? They're going to make a presentation. Thank you. Let's continue clapping hands for them as they walk fast to the stage. Sorry.
Now it should be better, yes. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. As Patrice said, I'm with Stephen Martins, who is head of technical department at FIFA. I'm head of football development, world football development, and that's why we are here today. I must say, personally, my life is linked with a long love story with Africa. And looking back at my career, it has been successful, basically, always with cooperating with African players through my whole career. And so I feel a little bit I have a debt towards Africa, and I have to give something back to this continent who has helped me so much during my career. We, as head of football development, I thought first, what can I do? Let's first see in what shape is world football. And we made a long inquiry to see how can we help every single country, what is missing in every single country. And we went for an analysis, a diagnosis of the whole world to see how can we help. You know, here you see that all over the world, we have been in 205 countries, and 100%, what is positive in Africa, 100% of the African countries subscribed to have an analysis of their needs.
So Arsene, we will talk about the future of football and how the competition structures, how the need for more World Cups, the need for more Youth World Cups, the need for more Women's World Cups all pan out. But it's also quite important that we also have a view on what is the situation from below. And that's why we first of all looked at the rankings of African football. We make it a little bit in perspective, Arsene. And we see that on average, the ranking of African teams is not high enough, Arsene.
You see here in blue, you have men's football, and in yellow, you have women's football. And you see over the years, and on vertical, you have the ranking, the world ranking. And you see that on average, the African football is ranked between 100 and 120 and moves a little bit within that range. And women's football is even going down.
So if we look at, for instance, also the participation of the African teams, which is true, the slots for Africa are not so high. We already heard it, Fauzi saying as well, and the president saying 5 slots is not so much. 10 teams now playing for 5 spots. It's going to go up, of course, when the World Cup will go to 48 teams. But the number of teams qualifying for the final stages are low in Africa, we must say that. It's better in the youth, Arsene.
It's very, very acceptable at youth level. At senior level, it's very low. It's a little bit linked with the number of teams who go to the World Cup. Let's not forget as well, you make the ranking with the results in the big competitions. So if you have less teams in the big competitions, of course, your ranking is lower.
Again, a reason why it's important that we have more World Cups, more regularly, where the African teams can meet the top teams. Now, we then started to look a little bit deeper also on the build-up of the development side of, and one key important element is, of course, if you want to develop good players, you need a good structure. You need good resources. You need to have a written playing philosophy, a plan what you want to do with your players. We can say when we compare that to other parts of the world, there's work to be done for Africa. We also saw in our analysis, is there a technical director in most countries in Africa? Yes, there is one, comparable to most other countries. But when we look at the staff of the technical departments, it's quite low in comparison to other countries. So the need for good staff is important again to prepare the teams for these more intense tournaments that we want to have. Arsene, some reflections from you.
Yes, the technical director is quite isolated. There's not enough people around him. And the organizational structures are relatively small. You know, that has already been highlighted. And the technical director is not given full responsibility for the executive management, and as such has limited power across the organization, what is, of course, very harmful.
We also see the limited infrastructure, but I hear that Fauzi, and that's of course for stadiums, is talking about raising $1 billion. Infrastructure for training centers is of course also a very important element in that. Now, we're also looking at the national teams and how they are being built. We're talking about youth national teams as well as senior national teams. And when we look is there, for instance, because we have looked at many things, we just showed you a few elements. Is there information about where your best talents are? Well, then we see that that is the case, yes, on the men's side, but on the women and the youth, many countries do not necessarily know where all their better players are.
Yes, we have to know that the first improvement in a country is to identification of talent, is to know where are your best people, where are your most talented players. And as long as you are not performing at that, all the rest doesn't work.
Yeah. And then we can analyze matches. And again, we see, for instance, that top teams, the better teams, the A national teams, yes, there is match analysis, a performance analysis. When we go to the women and the youth, in compared to other parts of the world, it's not there. And we know, again, all these elements play a role in making the teams competitive at the highest end. Because, yes, we want to organize more World Cups, but yes, we want to also make sure that teams are prepared for that, also in Africa.
There again, we have with the coaching staff, sometimes they come from abroad with their own resources, and national teams offer a limited pathway. We've seen that at the youth level is not bad in Africa when you look at the results at international level, but there is between youth and senior team, something doesn't work. And this transition from youth team to senior team is absolutely essential. Of course, you have as well a little gap in sports, science and medicine, and that's room for improvement as well, and little or no provision for women's national teams. You know, what is worrying in Africa is that the women's ranking is even going down.
Another element, if we're not talking about national teams, is of course the domestic competitions. I heard the president speak about, and it's great, you have the idea of bringing more school competitions around the continent. It's essential to have this grassroots environment. And yes, there is, for instance, in most countries in Africa, as well as in other parts of the world, a competition department. But no, the grassroots strategy and the development of youth and specifically school competitions is key. But then we need to connect that as well, Arsène, to the better players and what is happening for the national teams.
Yes, of course. You know, it's something that is absolutely vital, is that the structured grassroots development strategy, a written program for the coaches, and as well the youth team competition. Training is important, competition as well is important. And you see that if you look, basically over 50% of the countries have only 2 competitions at youth team age. Unfortunately, with 2 youth team competitions, as you said, Patrice, before, you don't win the World Cup, you know. You need a complete structure of competition from youth, from a very early age, to the senior team. And that, as long as you don't have that, all your work after is only helping, but not really deeply efficient.
Domestic competitions are important, but also, of course, as Arsène already said, the development of the talent. And where do we see, of course, a lot of talent being developed is in the academies. We know in Africa there's a lot of private academies, and we have looked in all the academies, because we have done also the analysis in the world on how do the academies work. And here you see, for instance, the number of matches that are played by academy players in Africa. It's lower compared to the World Cup, average. And it's also lower in terms of training sessions, Arsène. Now, I know you have been working with Jean-Marc Gioux, and he was also saying, even if they don't play so much matches, it's quite important they get good training, and a lot of training.
The number of training sessions are important, you know. There's two important ingredients that we have seen by analyzing the whole world that make the difference, is the number of training sessions, and there's a difference between the top 20 countries and all the other countries in the world in number of sessions. In the best countries, we have 250 sessions at the age of 14, 15, and it drops very much in Africa. Yeah. And the second thing is, once you're under 17, under 18, the best teams have about 12 to 14 international matches, and in the smaller countries, it's 4 international games per year. And that is a huge difference, you know. in experience at that age where you learn a lot.
And that's again, Arsene, why we will do, and it comes in a second, our proposal for the future of football is to have more frequent youth tournaments and for more age categories and for more teams that can participate. Because we need to give that opportunity to best players to play at the highest level more frequently. Now, we have the challenges for the academies, which are often private academies in Africa, Arsene.
Yes, there are a number of private academies. At the start, it's always important to know why are the private academies done. Sometimes it's for good purpose, and sometimes it's just to make money with the potential that is inside the country. So I believe as well the danger of that is that the federation doesn't master the development of the academy. They do not dictate what is done in the academies. And that's why I'm convinced you lose many good players because they are sold too early in their development to Europe, you know. And that's why I think it's very important that you master, the federations have a control of their academies inside the countries.
And in that regard, I would also say the Pan-African Super League will be very important as well, because it will keep more African quality players longer in Africa. Okay, maybe at some point they will still go to a bigger competition, but we see now that the first transfers of African players is actually way too cheap compared to the second transfer. Arsene, you many times say that.
Yes, for example, we have analyzed what is the average cost of a player who goes from Africa to Europe. And what was very interesting for me is to see what is happening with the second transfer, you know. And the first transfer on average from Africa to Europe is about 300,000 euros. And the second transfer from Europe to Europe is on average 2.8 to 3 million euros. That means that it's basically multiplied by 10 from the first to the second transfer, and the people who produced, educated the players are not properly rewarded in that.
Again, a reason for this Pan-African Super League as a very important driver for that. Another element in the development, of course, is the quality of the coaches. Very important. We know we work well together with CAF in terms of getting a training and education department up and running in every country, a head of coach education in every country. We see that, as we said already before, the staff in the countries is not wide enough. In some countries it is, but in many countries it is not. The need for people that are working and delivering education, and not just the technical director, is key, but also to offer the right level of quality education. And the pro license, for instance, is something that is absent in Africa for the moment. Those who train with the best, Arsene.
Yes, I'm convinced that the quality of the coaching makes the career, you know. And to get quality coaches at youth team level is very difficult. But at 17, 18 after, it's too late, you know. So I believe it's important that you make a big effort in educating people to coach the young players, because one of the modern challenges is, of course, to give all the skills to the players, but as well, I believe in a modern society, is to forge the character, to be reliable, to be capable to compete under pressure. You know, that is something that you develop at a very young age. The respect for the quality of the game is something that you develop at a very young age. So it is very important. We will help you, we'll show you how, but this, we have a very important effort to make for the education of the quality of the coaches.
So that's why, yes, competitions are important, but also helping you and you taking responsibility on what is now being found out for your country specific. We have reports for every member association, for every federation. As for now, we have already been in 23 countries, we have already distributed the report, and in 12 others we have started to present the report. So all, as we saw in the beginning, all 54 nations of CAF have participated in the analysis. So in the next weeks and months, day by day, we are presenting the reports. So it's very important for you as presidents, as general secretaries, to be present if you have been already. And if you not have been because it hasn't been offered, it's going to come very soon. Because this individual report will allow you to start thinking about the next steps. because we are doing the presentations now. We will prepare in 22 the next phase, Arsène, which is the phase of really rolling out the talent development scheme. And for that reason, we will try to maximize value in 22, discussing with you, collaborating with you, and making a long-term plan. Because talent development is a long-term planning, Arsène.
It's a long-term planning. I personally believe that with a 5 years response between the start of it and the rewards of it. So, of course, 5 years looks very long, but it's very efficient. And we'll show you later how we want to do that.
We'll have 50,000 available next year, Arsène, for the countries who
Patrice,
sign up.
you said you want money, you know, with our chairman we have come, and we make you money available.
But the program can be bigger in the future, and that's when we are talking about actually, say, 2023. Then we come with the talent development scheme at full range when we have made all the individual plans. Arsène.
This is our global conclusion, basically. It is, of course, we need the funding and the long-term collaboration and the strategic planning. We need experts because this is, we need your help. We need your help to do it, but we are ready to bring our experts to go into your countries, educate your coaches. We have a group of experts that we have created, and we'll go into your country and help you to develop your coaches and look at your development scheme. And as well, you have access to FIFA educational resources. We have created on the 5th of November, we have launched our educational training center where everybody has freely access, where we give training sessions, film training sessions. Your coaches have access to it freely and see how you develop good training sessions. And of course, we are ready to exchange our knowledge with all the members of associations.
Maybe we can play the film now on the training center, which is a 2-minute film on explaining what it is.
Have a look at that, because that shows what we show on our screens. All over the world, you know, this program, this FIFA Training Center is basically an academy online, and where we want everybody to take advantage of it, especially the coaches. We educate coaches, we educate players, and we put training sessions online. We put all our analyses online to help everybody to improve. It's a huge initiative because we think that FIFA has gone into a responsibility to educate people all over the world, and this is one of the main tools. We have as well adjusted help individually inside the countries, but this is one global thing we want to offer to the whole world.
When we analyze the game today, we see there is a significant gap between those who do work well and those who would like to work well but maybe don't know how to, and some who don't work well. We have done that analysis together with Arsène Wenger. We analyzed for our talent development scheme over 205 countries. How do they work with talents? How do they give a chance to talent? How they're working at coaching level, at competition level, etc. And of course, one element is to know what are the weak spots and how can we help them go specifically there. But then there is also how can we now transfer knowledge? What has to be happening in preparation for the games, in preparation on training sessions, in creating a right environment. And well, we can go on site, we can send experts. That's what we will do. But it's also important that we have a bank of information, and that's what the FIFA Training Center is. It's an online environment, accessible to anybody at any time.
The modern game has to integrate everybody, and that's why this environmental problem is so big. We call that as well the sociological environment today of a player. You know, this has to be right, and we try to educate everybody who is in the environment of a player. Look, everybody has access to that, and We have created an analysis department of the big competition. From the big competition, we analyze, for example, why do the teams win, why do they lose? From the trends and the evolution of the game, we transfer that into the training center and show you how to go with the evolution of the game. And that is completely free and accessible to everybody.
And it's great to see, because we try to work with the whole world, try to go also all around the world, working with the better coaches of many countries in different parts of the world, film training sessions, how they work. We had the pleasure last week to be in Morocco and working with the national coaches from the Moroccan Federation. Thank you, Fauzi, for all your kind hospitality and support. Fantastic center, of course, as well that you have. And it was great, you know, our experts also said, good knowledge, good know-how there, good quality players, and that's what we want to do, showcase the whole world, the best practices. This training center is available online on any device. If you go to Google and you just tick FIFA Training Center, you will get the whole training center on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer. It's available for everybody for free, and it will continue to grow with more and more quality information. Now, Arsene, of course, we've talked about the need of having good structures, good national teams, good coaches, educational support, but of course we also need good competitions. And I think you and I, we have been spending together with our president and with a lot of our team, a lot of work in the last months based on analyzing the feasibility study. Is a World Cup every 2 years possible for the men? Is it possible for the women? And can we do a proposal to play World Cups every year for the youth at under 16, under 18 or under 17 for 48 teams? And for the under 20s for 24 teams. So this means more access for more teams. Arsene, this has been a hell of a journey so far that we have gone on. Can you tell us a little bit about what we have been doing? We'll show a video in a moment about the ideas, but let's give us some experience maybe to the people first.
Yes, first of all, we consulted the whole world, you know, and now that over a year, and our president and knows that we have worked very hard to have everybody's opinion. We come to the conclusion that it's possible. We believe as well when you're in a competition it's important that you have access to the top level competitions. And for example, for Africa, to have a more often possibility to compete at the top level is a huge contributor to improvement. And that's why personally, I only defend that project because it is to make football better and more competitive.
And on top of that, of course, it would allow your national teams to play more regularly qualifying competition. There is, of course, also a commercial benefit to it. Patrick Motsepe will say that over and over again. We are here more to talk about it from the perspective of the football side. And from the football side, there is a lot of benefits to it because it makes the qualifiers more meaningful. You can keep the AFCON every 2 years, the World Cup will come every 2 years, and as a combination you'll have actually a big tournament every year where your national teams will work towards. And we do the same for the women, and we will do the same for the youth. Maybe we can look at a video, Arsene, which explains everything and what would be the benefits of it. So can we play the video, please?
Une refonte du calendrier international des matchs a été proposée dans le cadre de l'objectif d'amélioration du football. Cette proposition inclut notamment la possibilité d'organiser la Coupe du Monde tous les 2 ans. Le cycle quadriennal actuel fonctionne très bien, mais il a été instauré il y a près de 100 ans. Or, le football international a considérablement évolué au cours de cette période. Ce rythme a également privé nombre de grands joueurs d'une participation à cet événement rare. Toutefois, comme le montrent de nombreuses autres compétitions, la fréquence bisannuelle n'est pas synonyme d'une perte de prestige. La proposition de réorganisation des rencontres amicales et des matchs de qualification permettra aux clubs de disposer de leurs internationaux pendant une vingtaine de jours supplémentaires par saison. Grâce à cette initiative, la saison des clubs pourrait s'achever plus tôt et permettre l'organisation d'une compétition internationale au mois de juin. Il pourrait s'agir d'une Coupe du Monde ou d'une compétition continentale, selon les préférences des confédérations. Les compétitions actuelles, telles que les Ligues des Nations et les compétitions continentales bisannuelles, n'auraient pas besoin d'être modifiées. tous les revenus supplémentaires générés par une Coupe du Monde bisannuelle seraient reversés aux Coupes du Monde de jeunes et aux programmes mondiaux de développement des talents en matière d'éducation et d'assistance technique, supervisés par Arsène Wenger. L'annualisation des Coupes du Monde de jeunes, couplée à la création des catégories U16 et U18, fournira aux jeunes talents une plateforme régulière d'acquisition d'expérience en vue de la Coupe du Monde U20, actuellement organisée tous les 2 ans. Grâce à ces nouvelles propositions, les supporters pourront vivre la ferveur d'une Coupe du Monde plus fréquemment. Un plus grand nombre de joueurs pourront connaître le très haut niveau et des fonds plus conséquents pourront être investis dans le développement du football à tous les niveaux.
You know that we will have, Arsène, we're working towards a summit for all member associations on December 20th. Our president will host it. You will be there, Arsène. You're indispensable. And we will try to explain you there how far we progressed, because we've been speaking to all confederations. We've been speaking to many clubs. We've been speaking to players. So we'll give you an update on where we are, on the men, on the women, and on the youth. But I think it's quite important that you're all present, not only physically, it's going to be online, but also in mind. I think we need your support, Arsène, for this big project.
Yes, I would just like to finish by reminding something that you all know, but that we sometimes forget. We have gone into 205 countries, and after we have looked, but what do the top 20 countries better than the others? And we come to one simple conclusion. There's a huge correlation between the quality of the work at the youth teams and the results of the senior team. All the top 20 countries in the world have the best quality of a youth development program in the world. It's mathematics, you know. So we have not to forget that, and that's today my main message. Don't forget that the quality of what you do with the youth teams and the young players will necessarily be linked with the rewards at the senior level. There's no other way. And that's what the main information we got from our analysis in all the countries in the world.
So thank you all very much, and let's all support our way upwards to the future of football. Thank you very much.
I thought if you could, Arsène, sorry, if you could just 1 minute, thank you so much for your presentation. I just want to allow a few questions. If anybody has any questions whilst they are on stage, just raise your hand and indicate which member association you are from, if there are any questions at this stage. And of course, they've been visiting, they've done excellent work, and they made an excellent presentation to Exco in Kigali. I know some of you may want to ask them questions whilst we're having tea or coffee. All right. I think in that case, let's clap hands for them once more, please. And
thank you
very much. Okay. Thank you so much, Arsène, and thank you so much, Stephen. I'm now going to ask mon frère Seydou to come to the lantern to present you the resolution we propose to the Assembly. Mon frère Seydou. Can we clap hands for the President of Cameroon Football?
Monsieur le Président de la FIFA, la CAF, Messieurs les ministres d'État, chers collègues du comité exécutif, très haute personnalité ici présente et très chers.
All those here, the delegates are very dear. We cannot remain indifferent to the excellent work that has been effected by the team that has been just presented to us, and which brings out the development of football in the continent. And it shows also that through this project we can reduce the situation that separates us from football. And then there's a question of calendar, which is very important to revolutionize football. I am therefore honored to read the important resolution concerning the question of the calendar. It's a matter, the resolution number 2021-2 on the 26th of November 2021. One, CAF welcomes the FIFA Congress decision to conduct a feasibility study on having men's and women's World Cup every 2 years. Two, if the FIFA study concludes that it is feasible, CAF will fully support hosting the men's and women's World Cup every 2 years. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you. If anybody has any question on this resolution, if there are none, can those who are in support of this resolution raise your green cards, please? Thank you so much. I see wonderful green cards. Can those who are against it raise your red card? Thank you. No red card. Anybody who abstains, a yellow card? Thank you so much. I asked the scrutineers, I imagine that they've been monitoring the process, but the resolution has been adopted unanimously. Can we clap hands, please? Thanks, Seda. Thanks, Seda. Good work. We now come to agenda item 7D, the Pan-African Super League. For this agenda item, which deals with the Pan-African Super League, I invite Mofre Yaya to present the project. Mofre Yaya. Can we clap hands for our second Vice President?
Monsieur le Président de la CAF, Monsieur le Président de la FIFA, chers collègues,
dear colleagues, members of the Executive Council of Committee, Honorable Presidents and Delegates of the General Assembly, Honorable Presidents and Delegates of the National Federation, President of CAF, I have the honor to present this resolution of the Super League Pan-African. This Super League will have important advantages, in particular, advantages for African football and high-level competitions of our football players, an interest that is already shown, as noted by the President Patrice, on the partners of CAF to the television diffusion, which will result in financial means that will increase and will be distributed amongst the member associations for the development of football. Consequently, we ask the General Assembly to recognize the potential advantages of a Pan-African Super League and to encourage EXCO of CAF to pursue its studies and its investigations and to finalize its plan for the launching of this project. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions? Thank you so much. We can now vote. Those who are in support of that, please raise your green card. Thank you. All the green cards. Thank you so much. Those who don't support the red card. Thank you so much. Those who abstain, the yellow card. So that resolution has been passed unanimously. Can we clap hands for that resolution? Thank you. And the scrutineers has been continuing with this process. I am now going to agenda item number 8. Extension of the terms of office of the chairman, vice chairman of CAF's judicial bodies for the period of up to 30 days after the 2022 CAF Annual Ordinary General Assembly. For this agenda item, I will invite my brother, mon frère Augustine, to present the item and the resolution. Can we clap hands for our first Vice President?
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Monsieur le Président de la FIFA, Monsieur le Président de la CAF, chers collègues du comité exécutif, chers délégués, chers invités, en ma qualité de président de la commission juridique, j'ai l'avantage au nom du comité exécutif de vous soumettre un projet de résolution portant sur l'extension du mandat
on the extension of the terms of office of the chairman and vice chairman of two important committees of CAF, the disciplinary boards and the appeals boards. In effect, the presidents of those, the chairman were elected on 2nd of February 2018. Until 2022, they have terminated their terms of office. And so we cannot hold a General Assembly, and this is why the committee would like to submit today to the General Assembly a proposal for a resolution that would allow to prolong their terms of office until the next General Assembly in 2022. In concerning the duration, we have proposed that it should be 1 month after this General Assembly. So this is the resolution that I submit to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear brother.
Does anyone have any questions? Are there any questions? If not, can we then vote on this resolution? If you are in favor of this proposal, please raise the green card. The green card. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. If you are against this proposal, please raise your red card. Thank you. If you abstain, raise your yellow card. The scrutineers, as always, are monitoring the process. Thank you so much. This resolution has been passed unanimously. Can we clap hands for that? Thank you. We're going to what I think is the last agenda item so that we can then conclude the work for the day. Agenda item number 9, any other business. The first topic on this agenda item are the revenues of the African qualifiers of the FIFA World Cup 2022. This is very good news. These are excellent results for African football. And I hand over the floor to mon frère Veron, who will elaborate on this subject. My brother.
Merci beaucoup, President. Thank you. Thank you very much, President. We will present a positive update on the sale of rights for Africa World Cup qualifiers. In cooperation with majority of you and with FIFA, we took a new approach this cycle. This resulted in a positive financial impact compared to the old contract with Lagardère. Next slide, please. The new approach combined TV with internet, reached the record view figures, the high production standard, the satellite distribution across the world, I remember that one of my friends from Somalia in Switzerland, the kids born in Switzerland, it was the first time they watched the team from Somalia playing thanks to this new approach.
In Switzerland?
In Switzerland, yeah.
That's good.
As you can see, the growth of revenue, total sale for 2018 qualifier was $35 million US dollars. 3MS did not participate. The total sale for 2022 qualifier increased 41 million US dollars. So the growth is a 15.5 with the new approach. To televise the game, you need a service. You need to product this. If you see the 2018, in the time of the Lagardère, the production was 9.6 million. With the new approach with the 2022 qualifiers is 4.9. Trouver l'erreur, as we say in French. So the cost expenses under Lagardère was, as I mentioned before, 9.9. The new approach has a huge saving, almost half. There is no commission. So that's it to guess. Decreased fund to the member association with new approach. The result of this new approach is more money stay in football for member associations. Total of 36 US dollars will be redistributed to the member associations.
Sorry, did you say 36 US dollars? Or?
Yeah, 36 million. 36 million US dollar will be redistributed to the member associations. So the increase of 41% compared to the previous contract.
Thank you so much.
And to close, just to termine the next slide, now I will finish. How those funds will be distributed to you will be communicated in due course after the playoff. I want just to say that les mauvaises langues, comme on dit en français, les mauvaises langues vont dire, mais la FIFA, qu'est-ce qu'il a gagné? La FIFA a gagné 0 francs. Et l'Afrique a gagné beaucoup d'argent. Ça, on doit être clair là-dessus, à part les frais de production qui a été mentionné. So, this is a fantastic approach for our games to have oversee. You know that we have in Africa we have a big our colleague, our friend abroad. So, for this approach, they can see our games playing in Africa. So thank you, President Gianni, for this, and thank you for your fantastic collaboration. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Let's clap hands for what Veron has just said. This is, I spend so much of my time traveling, and I have to trouble so many people to watch African football. So this is excellent. This is a wonderful example of the partnership between FIFA and CAF really delivering for the benefit of football on the African continent. Are there any questions on this presentation by mon frère Veron? Thank you so much. If there are none, we will move on. And as I said, we are fast approaching the end of our extraordinary General Assembly. The next topic is about refereeing. And I've said previously the quality, the integrity, the credibility of referees are critically important. And this is also one of those key examples of the partnership between CAF and FIFA under the leadership of our brother Gianni, really delivering immensely for the benefit of African football. The program is with FIFA is called the STARS Refereeing Program. to present this program and now invite the best referee ever. You must tell your sons and daughters, I know that they've got good genes and they can be the best referees in the world because their father was the best. Can we please welcome Pierluigi Collina to come and make a present? Can we clap hands, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me say that it's a great honor, also a great pleasure for me to be here before you at this Congress, this Assembly General, to illustrate the project of cooperation between CAF and FIFA. Let me spend 2 words to remember something. You mentioned before that your objective, the objective of CAF, is to have an African team succeeding in a world competition soon. Let me say that I'm the witness of an historical moment for the African football 25 years ago, August the 3rd in Athens, a small city, a big university in Georgia, United States, when Nigeria won the Olympics, and it was the first great success of an African team ever. So I was there that day, and for me it's a vivid memory to have seen that success. So hopefully there will be something else without me on the field of play, unfortunately, but certainly with a good referee on the field of play. So you mentioned this project STAR, and STAR because is someone who shines brightly, who stands above the others. This is the meaning of a star. And to be a star, you need to be talented, you need to have initiative in what you do, and mainly you have to work very hard every day. FIFA is definitely dedicated to support the African stars in refereeing of today, but also to develop the CAF refereeing stars of tomorrow. You spoke, Mr. President, about the future of African football, trying to get it at the very highest level worldwide. You cannot achieve this without getting referees at the same level. So we want to ensure through this project that the level of refereeing in Africa will develop, as well as football level is developing in the continent. And to do this, we need to professionalize the preparation of referees. We need to provide them the most modern training and development practice. Is exactly what Arsène Wenger said about players' youth a few minutes ago. We need to do the same with referees, and we need to look not only at the referees of today, the highest level of today, but we have also to look at the grassroots, we have to look at the future, trying to develop the future of refereeing in the continent. We want to have proficiency, so we want to have an improved standard, an improved preparation. We want to have availability from the referees taking part into this project in terms of training, education, availability to competition, but also availability to their member association and to confederation, not only with FIFA. And we want to have these referees giving something back to others, in particular to the young referees in their member association, because they can become the instructors. They need to learn how to instruct other referees. So the key point of this project we will identify the 24 candidates through all the continent participating to this project, and we will do looking really to the highest quality, men and women. This project is targeted both for men and women. They will receive a payment because the President Motsepe before mentioned about making them professional or professionalizing them means also to provide them an economical support to make them in a position to dedicate time to invest in refereeing. Participating to this project is not something guaranteed forever. They will be yearly assessed, so participating to this project means to win the next year through their performances, through their commitment. We will identify, it's not yet decided, but we will soon identify a location where we install this academy. We like this word not only for youth footballers, we like it also for youth and top referees, so we will have this academy. And ideally, the referees will travel to this venue twice a year to attend seminars. These seminars will cover theory, of course, so in a classroom, but also practical on-field training, because we are convinced, our idea is that referee must know football, referee must know everything about the teams, about the players play. They need the football understanding, and this you can get it only if you are on the field of play. Then, of course, fitness is important for them, but also caring of their physical, so their health. So we will certainly provide them support in this direction, and also, as the President Infantino mentioned before, VAR is playing a very, very important role in modern football, and we want to improve the development of VAR in Africa, also using the other kind of VAR, like the VAR Lite. You might have heard something about it. We are really trying to make technology more affordable for many more member associations and competition. I would like to play a video to show how our referees in a seminar in preparation for a competition, namely the World Cup 2022, are working. So if you can play the video. So this is what we do during our seminars, and this is what will be done during the seminars at this academy. During the year, the referees will be followed by the instructors from CAF and FIFA, and their performances will be monitored at member association level, at CAF level, and also at FIFA level, with feedback continuously provided to the Star Academy session. And also we will have, as I said before, FIFA and CAF instructors that will ensure that the referees will be followed up continuously during the year. It is very important also to pay attention at health and fitness, because without being healthy and fit, you can't be on the field play as a good referee. So we need to teach our referees to take care of their health, to prevent injuries from occurring, and this is something that they need to learn. Sometimes they don't pay enough attention to this. As I said before, VAR and VAR Light will be certainly an objective of the preparation of these referees, and the project is not targeted, as I said before, only to the stars of today. We need to create a future. We need to create a new generation of top referees, and therefore we need to invest also in creating these new referees for the future. So certainly there will be seminars also for a group of young and talented referees who will participate as a sort of master to develop their skills. The benefit we aim to achieve through this project is, of course, to improve refereeing at every level. This is a demonstration of the commitment towards Africa football. In 1998, an African referee refereed the World Cup final in Paris. It was the last time, but it was a long time. So I think every organization like you should work with this target in mind to get a referee at the World Cup final in the future, and we hope that through this project this can become possible in the future, only because of the performances delivered by this referee on the field of play. This is our mentality. And once more, we need to prepare not only the top referees of today, but we need also to look after the future. So for me, it's now the time to move forward and to invite the CAF president and the FIFA president to sign standing.
I think let's clap hands for Pierluigi Collina. Stand here. So I mean, he's just told me something that makes me so proud. One of the issues was to get African referees from the continent, world class, to referee at the highest level. And he's just said that an African referee refereed the finals of the World Cup.
1998. Unfortunately, he passed away already, but yeah, it was an historical moment also for African football.
That's amazing, and thank you so much. So we are now, it's a great honor for CAF, it's a great honor for African football to sign this partnership in relation to this wonderful project that Pierluigi spoke about, and partnership between CAF and FIFA. This is one of the many partnerships over the years that really we are thankful contribute towards African referees to be as good as the best in the world. Can we please clap hands as we sign? We initial every page or sign the last page, yeah. And I can't have a better referee to make sure that I sign at the right place, you know. We sign here. Thank you. We've got to stand up. Let's stand up. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. You've done these things many times. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Can we please clap hands, please? Yeah. I think you guys can stand up as presidents. Let's all stand up, please, because it's your document, okay? Let's clap hands for everybody, all the members. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Sorry. Huh? Oh, the documents. Yeah, Varun says I must give him the document so that he can save it very nicely in the file. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we're almost complete now. The very last item on the agenda is something that's very close to the hearts of all of us. It's a very quick video on the school's football, and then we'll make quick closing remarks, and we can all go and have lunch. And I think part of bringing all of the presidents together is to interact and to also build our social relationships outside the work environment. And so the next time I'll be seeing all of the 54 presidents will be in Cameroon, because we were trying to invite all of them to the opening. We wanted to invite every single one of the 54 African presidents and member associations to be represented, and the presidents to be in Cameroon. But because when the competition starts, all of the nations are there, and accommodation is a bit of a challenge. We're still trying to see whether we can succeed, but definitely in the final. So for the final, I'll be looking forward to, we're inviting every one of our 54 presidents, and I intend to take the day before just to have coffee and talk about a few things concerning progress and where are we going for the new year. Can we play that video, the quick video on the school's football, which is something that's close to the hearts of all of us in Africa?
The beautiful game of football is part of Africa's soul. The passion and the joy that it brings to millions of Africans unites us as people and brings us hope. The Pan-African Schools Football Championship in 2022 will completely change the landscape of the game across our incredible continent. The Pan-African Schools Football Championship will be run in 3 structured sections. Firstly, our 54 member associations, in collaboration with their relevant local authorities, will run national schools tournaments with the registered schools. Next, the very best teams will move into 6 zonal school tournaments. Finally, Our zonal winners will move on to contest the continental stages, where ultimately we will crown a boys' team and a girls' team as the inaugural winners of the Pan-African Schools Football Championship. The Pan-African Schools Football Project is backed by both FIFA and the African Union. They understand the power of football and how it can shape society. The Motsepe Foundation has donated $10 million that will be awarded to the winning school to fund their needs. CAF will support the member associations that will register to participate in the competition with monetary and equipment support to prepare and deliver their national championships. Together, we can shape Africa's future, one football match at a time. The CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, expressed his gratitude to the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, for his support and commitment to developing the Pan-African Schools Football Championship.
Thank you so much. We've now come to the end of our proceedings for today, and a deep gratitude on behalf of the CAF leadership, our vice presidents, thank you so much, our EXCO members, and also on behalf of every single one of the 54 member associations. Gianni, thank you so much for being here and for your support. Arsene Wenger and Massimo, thank you so much, and Pierluigi, Steve Martins from FIFA, our ministers from Cameroon, thank you so much, and our brothers from Egypt. Hani, thanks for the wonderful food. Hani gave me so much meat yesterday, thank God. I was told that I must become a vegetarian. Now, I don't know. In Africa, we grew up eating meat, and so the food was very, very good. And thanks to our leaders from the governance committee, the good work that you do, and every single one of our committees. Now, as we close, I'm going to ask that we just, in the new culture in CAF, close this meeting with a prayer, a silent prayer by all of us, to thank God to thank Allah for having been with us and to guide us to do the work of football on the continent, and to help our people, the unemployed, the poor, and to give hope, to use football to give hope. Can we close with a moment of silent prayer by all of us? Thank you so much. See you in Cameroon. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. This is Massimo.